This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, I hope you can hear me, right? Okay, team. Yesterday we were talking about data set name rules. Okay, data set name rules. So data set name rules are same for PS file, same for partition data set, same for KSDS, same for ESDS, RRDS, and LDS. These are all the data sets in mainframe technology. For all of them, the data set name rules are same. Data set name rules are same. So the length of data set name 44 characters, 1 to 44 characters. The maximum length is 1, maximum is 44, minimum is 1. The length of the data set name 1 to 44. Data set is divided, data set name is divided into qualifiers if it is applicable. Okay, data set name is divided into qualifiers. That is the one. Next, so a data set name is divided into qualifiers. So if I talk about qualifier rules, okay, qualifier length, each qualifier is separated by dot, and each qualifier should start with the character or national characters or special characters. We call them special characters. So special characters are @ hash and $. These three are special characters. So you can start data set name, the qualifier like this. Okay. So qualifier length. Again, qualifier length is what? 1 to 8 characters. 8 to 8 characters. Qualifier can have characters A to Z, like characters means A to Z, and national characters, which I talked about already, national characters, and digits. Okay, what does it mean? It can have digits also in the name. That is the I meant here. So examples we will see about the data set name. Venkat A. So Venkat, I'll say IBM US. It is a valid. So why it is a valid team? Because it is starting with the character. Yes, fine. And the length is not greater than 1. Yes. Less than 44. Yes. All are valid characters. These are all valid characters. So it is a valid. So in this data set name, only one qualifier we have, that is IBM US. That is an example. Second one, okay, I. It's a valid because the length of the data set can be 1 byte also, 1 character also. Next, IBM, I'll say Venkat B dot demo dot PS1. It is a valid. So if you see, we need to discuss what is the length of the data set name for the above one and how many qualifiers are there. And what is high level qualifier? What is low level qualifier? So we should get answers for all of them to understand about the data set name. To understand about the data set name, we should read all of them. So length of the data set name includes dot. Can you please count and tell me what is the length of the dataset name? What is the length of the dataset name?
Characters.
Sorry?
Characters. 16
So,
characters.
16. So it is a 16.
Character.
16 means it is followed this rule 1 to 44 characters. Very good. The dot also will be called as a length only. It is part of length. How many qualifiers are there? Venkat B is a 1, demo is the second one, PS1 is the third one. So total we are having 3 qualifiers. So we are having 3 qualifiers. What are those 3 qualifiers by the way? Venkat B, one qualifier, demo is another qualifier, PS1 is another qualifier. What is a high level qualifier? First qualifier is called as a high level qualifier. So that is Venkat B. First level qualifier is a high level qualifier. What is the low level qualifier or last qualifier? PS1. The last qualifier is called as low level qualifier. That is an example. So A dot B dot C dot D E. Is it a valid or invalid? Give me the answer. Anjali, is it a valid or invalid Anjali? Is it a valid or invalid dataset name?
It's valid.
Yeah. Anjali, I am expecting answer from you, Anjali. Is it a valid or invalid? Anjali, you have to unmute yourself, okay? Okay. This is a valid. Basically, it's a valid. What is the length of the dataset name now? What is the length of the dataset name?
9.
ABCD5, 9. Okay, 9. And how many qualifiers are there? Total qualifiers. How many qualifiers are in the 5? What are those? A is a qualifier, B is a qualifier, C is a qualifier, D is a qualifier, E is a qualifier. And what is a high level qualifier? HLQ A. What is a low level qualifier? What is a low level qualifier? E. B. Okay. So, and dollar ABC RAC. Is it a valid or invalid?
Valid.
Valid. Because the data set name can start with the special character. The qualifier can start with the special character. @ is allowed, hash is allowed, dollar is allowed. Okay. So next, if I say 1ABC dot RAC, is it a valid or invalid?
Not valid.
It's invalid. It's invalid. Why? The first qualifier, okay, qualifier is starting with the number. First qualifier is starting with the number. Is it clear? So like this, we will be having the data set name. Okay, next, ABC1 RAC1, is it a valid or invalid? It's valid or invalid? It's a valid. It is a valid data set name. Okay, because it can end with the number, but it cannot start with the number. Okay, A1B CE C2 hash, is it a valid or invalid? It's a valid. Okay, it's a valid because number can have in between, the length is 1 to 44, less than between them only, and okay, it is less than 44. Is it clear? Now Next, always in our mainframe ID team, okay, whenever you are creating a data set, you do follow like this. So generally MFID, the mainframe ID which you are using, the high level qualifier, ideally it is your mainframe ID, dot, you can write the qualifier 1 as your wish, Q2 as your wish. So but make ensure that the first qualifier should be your mainframe ID. So that is how you have to practice. On this server, when you are practicing, let's say you might use Venkat A dot your name, add your name. So your name, let's say Anita, add Anita. So because the same ID, same mainframe ID using by multiple people. So you should know how you want to differentiate between others. So Anita dot TSO dot PS1 like this. Venkat V dot Shruti dot TSO dot PS1. Venkat A dot okay Rohan dot TSO dot PS1. So the point what I am trying to say, team, on mainframe server, the data set name should be unique. The data set name should be unique. That is a rule. So you call second qualifier, keep your name so that it is easy for you to search, and even when you have a doubt, I can do login from my laptop, I can rectify it. Okay, it is a mandatory rule. It's not a mainframe rule, but it is our training rule. Is it clear? Is it clear, team? Any queries do you have?
No queries.
Okay, right. So this is all about data sets. Okay, these are all the about data set name rules. Let me do login. Okay, how do you log on? Log on. You can write either in lowercase, uppercase. Log on. Venkat V. Venkat V. Either okay, whichever ID I have given it to you, you have to use that ID. Venkat V. Enter. Okay, and the password. So I am entering the password. After entering the password, click enter button. So you can see what time you logged in. Okay, 1 hour back. Now the time is at 9:45. Okay, somebody logged in 1 hour before. So now when you get ready screen, we need to type ISPF. Okay, just use Alt Tab or just place the cursor over here, ISPF. So ISPF stands Interactive System Productivity Facility. ISPF stands Interactive System Productivity Facility. So we are going to ISPF panel. Enter and hit the enter. You can see this is ISPF primary option menu. This is ISPF primary option menu. Okay, so this is ISPF primary option menu. On this bottom, we have a function keys. Yesterday I talked about, I have given the video also to watch it. Please watch it. The second one, okay, function keys are there at the bottom. Function keys are there in the bottom. If you want to hide it, you can hide it. If you want to display them, you can display them. These are all command line. This is information. Now I will type 3 stands utilities. Okay, so if you want to create a data set, we need to type a command called, third option, 3 utilities. To create a data set, which option we use? 3. So type 3, hit the enter button. You will go to the next screen. The screen name is utility selection panel. What is the screen name? Utility selection panel. Now you can see which option I need to select to create a data set, which option we need to use to create a data set. Tell me, guys.
2.
Exactly. So appropriate one is 2, because 3 we can use to move and copy the members or data sets. Are you copying? Our intention is to copy? No. Our intention to move? No. Our intention is to create. So if you want to create a data set, or if you want to rename the file name, or if you want to delete the file, existing file, or if you want to see the file is existing or not file information, we can select two. Once you select two, these are all things we can do it. Okay, so we can allocate, we can rename, we can delete, all of them we can do it. So I'm typing 2 on the command line. I'm typing 2 on the command line. Hit the enter. So type 2, hit the enter, so that you will be going to the next screen, utility, dataset utility. Okay, the screen name is dataset utility. Now, so which option I need to select to allocate or create, both are same in mainframe terminology. Which option I need to use to create a data set? Which option I need to use?
Option A.
A. A. So you give A over here. You can type A, that is indicates that allocate. You want to create a data set. Very good. But what is the data set name? Okay. What is the data set name? You can provide the data set name here, this blanks, or we can give the data set name here. Okay. I am giving here Venkat B dot. Okay. I will give B12 dot TSO dot PS1. So this, as I said, when you are creating a data set name, the first qualifier, high level qualifier, should be your mainframe ID. It should be your mainframe ID. Thereafter, you can give your name as a second qualifier, rest of them as your wish. Okay, so follow the dataset name rules and do it. You have to enter the dataset name within the single quotes. You have to enter the dataset name within the single quotes. So once you enter the dataset name, hit the enter button, you will go to the another screen. You will go to the another screen. So here are the parameters. What are here? We are having a parameters. So these parameters are very critical, very important. If you don't understand these parameters, JCL is going to become a challenge. It is going to become challenging one for you. Yeah. Any queries?
No.
Okay, so let's talk about parameters. Okay, we will talk about parameters. One is volume. Okay, the parameters, what we call parameters. What are the parameters? Volume, units, space units, primary quantity, secondary quantity. So PQ stands primary quantity, SQ stands secondary quantity. Secondary quantity. Okay, and directory. So what is another parameter? Directory. Then record length. Okay, record length and block size. We have a block size and record format. So these parameters are very important. One is, I will talk about the purpose of this one. Why we are creating a file. I want to store my participants details. I want to store my participants details. Example, participant number. Okay. Participant number, participant number. The fields are, what are the fields are there? Participant number, participant name, and participant location, participant phone number, participant email ID. So I want to store these details. This is a field. What is this? What are the fields here? What are the fields are here? Participant number, participant name, participant location, participant phone number, participant email ID. These are all fields. If I combine all these fields data, we will call as a record. If I open an Excel sheet, you know, everyone knows Excel sheet, right? Now, I'll say participant ID, participant name, participant address, participant location, participant phone number, and this. If you see one, Anita, okay, Chennai, address is already there, and participant email ID. So I'll say I'm giving a dummy mail ID. It is not a valid mail ID. Anita gmail.com. It is invalid. Don't try this one. It's a dummy data. And phone number I'm giving random number only. So this is a one field. This is this is the second field. This is the another field. Multiple fields. If I combine all of them, all borders, this is the record or field row. Right? Collection of one field. This is the one record. Second student. Okay. So I'll say Anjali and I'll say Delhi and Anjali the rate email.com and phone number. I'm entering random number. This is the second record. Okay, this is the second record or row. Is it clear? This is the record. So how you know the terminology? I'm talking about terminology. The next one team. Okay, the next one. How many bytes? So basically, I need how many bytes is required. So customer number size is a 5. What is the phone number size, by the way? What is your phone number size? Mobile phone number size?
10, sir.
10. What is other what is the other card number size?
11.
12. Okay. Other card size is 12. What about your PAN card number size? What is your PAN card size? It is 8, around 10 now? Okay. See, we have a sizes, right? We have a sizes for each field. Similarly, phone number, when participant number, I know only if I get 1999 or 5 digit is the participant number. Then name is a 20 bytes, location is a 20 bytes, phone number 10 bytes, email ID 20 bytes. Assumption. So to store one participant details, how many bytes is required? Do sum of all of them. Can you do sum of all of them? Sorry?
75.
75. So the record length is 75. What is the record length now? 75. Are you getting my point? Record length is 75. So the 75 or 100 totally depends on the number of characters you want to store in the file. Based on that, the record length is going to come. Next. Okay, next one. I want to store. Okay, I will give space units bytes. Okay, if I give bytes and primary quantity, I am giving 75. What does mean? Physically, I am allocating 75 bytes for this particular file. So which file? So for this file, this is the file. How much physical space? Like let's take an example. Okay, your mobile. Okay, in your mobile there is a SD card. Okay, there is a SD card. You can store what do you call capacity of your storage device. Correct? You never see it, in laptop also there is a storage device, 100 GB, 200 GB, 50, okay, 256 GB and so on, right? Now, if I create a 75, how many records I can store? By the way, primary quantity 75. What is 75? What does it mean? 75 bytes. If I give 75 KB, so what does it mean? 75 KB. You have to combine both of them to get the proper sentence. 75 KB. So if I give bytes, how many bytes you are allocating physical space for this file? 75 bytes. If I give 150, what does mean? What does mean? 150 divided by 75. How many records you can store? 2 records. So if I give 150 bytes space, primary quantity space for this file, I can store 2 records. Let's say I allocated 750. What is the primary quantity I have given? 750. What does mean 750 divided by record length? Just to calculate. Okay, 750 bytes equivalent to 75 is the record length. Now, how many records you can store? By the way, how many records you can store? 10 records. Correct? So 10 records maximum you can store in this file. If you try to store more than 10 records, you will get a space abend. Boss out of storage device. We will get that error. Is it clear? Now, if I want to store 10,000, I want to store 1,000 records. I want to store 1,000 participants details. You tell me how many bytes I have to allocate for that file. I want to store 1,000 participant details. Like in our batch, 10 participants are today, right? In my previous batch, there might be 100. Next batch, there might be 100. Like that, I should keep that file can hold 1,000 participants details. What is the record? What is the size? Storage device.
I think 7,500.
Exactly. Okay. So you need to allocate 7,500 bytes. Okay. 7,500 bytes. Is it clear? Now, so let's calculate in this way. 7,500 divided by 104. So if I allocate instead of bytes, I will allocate 8 kilobytes. I will allocate KB and I will allocate 8. If I allocate 8 KB, if I mention 8 KB, okay, 1 byte, 1 KB is equivalent to how many bytes, by the way? 1 KB is equivalent to number of bytes? 1024, right? 1024. So if I allocate 8 kilobytes, nothing but 8 into 1024. 8 into 1024. So you can maximum can store 8,192 bytes data. You can store maximum 8,192 bytes data. I hope you are clear, team. So the primary quantity, let's say when you are buying a mobile, when you are buying a hard disk, right? When you are buying a car, you will explore the capacity, correct? Okay, I need to store. I don't store anything in my laptop. I will use everything to store my data cloud. I'll use everything. I'll use for everything in a cloud, right? So that means you can buy a laptop. You can buy a laptop which can have a less storage space. Getting my point? So if you are, let's say, you know photographer, right? You know photographers. So whenever they go for shoot, wedding shoot, birthday shoot, they should have use storage capacity hard disk in their system. You know, one birthday, one marriage, 10 GB, 20 GB, because it's a high quality videos. So what I'm trying to say here, team, the space, the primary quantity is totally depends on your requirement. How many characters you want to store in a file, so that you will give in the form of, you can give a form of kilobytes, megabytes, bytes. You can give bytes, kilobytes and all. So this we will see that later, cylinders and all. So what you need to do in a Google, that okay, 1 KB is equivalent to no, 1 track is equivalent to how many bytes. You need to Google it. How many bytes? One cylinder is equivalent to how many bytes. You need to check it. 1 MB is equivalent to how many KBs. So who are new to computer system, for them, 1 KB is equal to how many bytes. Okay, just to explore, then you will get the answer for all of them. So 1 track is equivalent to how many bytes? Just Google it. Okay, this is a task for you. So now I will give KB, remove the everything, space 1 KB, 2 KB, means 2 into 1024. That many bytes you are allocating. That is the meaning of KB. Now, secondary quantity is additional space. Once the primary quantity is utilized, then you need to start utilizing. The system should start taking from the secondary quantity. It's like additionals. Okay, it is like a additional. Secondary quantity is the one additional. So additional as per your choice. Okay, you can give as per your choice. That is all about secondary quantity. Now you got the combination of space, units, bytes, cylinders, tracks. Okay, then primary quantity and secondary quantity. Is it clear? Right.
Venkat, can we explore like we can create a physical file and we can insert the data and can we show that like a primary from here to here it is the record length like that maybe
We'll discuss.
we
Discuss.
okay.
Okay. So team, I am taking more time to explain each parameter. The reason for that, because these parameters are going to help you in JCL also. So you should know all of them. Next, directory. So this directory parameter you use, okay, you want to create a PS file, then specify 0. That is mandatory. Okay, if you want, directory parameter decides what type of the file you are creating. If you want to create a PS file, then specify 0. So what does here? 0. Okay, you see that 0 for sequential data set. Next, So if you want to create a PDS, okay, if you want to create a PDS and specify value greater than 0. So greater than equal 1, 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5. So when you want to create a PDS, this is the directory block you have to mention. What we call, it's basically directory block. It's the directory block. Okay, is it clear? Next. So record format at this moment we will go with the fixed one only, fixed block, that I'll explain later. So fixed block, what is that? It's a fixed block. Block size, okay, block size. So in okay, you can give block size value. I'll give explanation here. Block size value is always multiple of record length. I give 750 into 150. So what does it mean? Okay, if I give 75 and 150 combination, so in a block I can store 2 records. Example, the other example, record length is 70. Okay, so record length is 50. The block size is 400. 400. No, 200. So in block, how many records it will store internally? 4 records. Let's say I have a record length 50, then block size is 300, 400. In each block, how many records are going to store? 8, like this. Okay, usually we'll give the length multiple of record length, as I said. So we give multiple of 10 ideally. If you give a 550, 500. If you give a 100, 1000. If you give a 75, 750. Multiple of 10. Record length into 10. So that is the ideal best practice way we give. That means in each block we are storing 10. So this is going to help us when you are processing the file in program. Okay. Is it clear, guys? Any queries?
Can you please repeat the block size configuration?
See, okay, there is a, if I give 50 rupees, if I give a, okay, I have given 100 rupees to you, and one item cost is 50 rupees. Now how many items you can buy? Total price I have given it to you 100 rupees. What is the, if the item cost is 50, how many items you can buy?
2.
2, right? Okay, so the box size, okay, the box size is, okay, 100 feet, then each item size is 5 feet, 1 feet. So what does mean? In the box, how many items I can store? Box size is 100 feet, width and height, but each item size, okay, one object, you say mobile, something you say, okay. Now in the box, like how many, box size is 100, each item like a, you can say brick, object size is 10 feet. In a box, how many objects I can store, how many items I can store?
10.
10. So the same formula, you understand this one. Now you read this one, understand me. If you have any queries, let me know. Is it clear?
File 1.
So basically, if I give a box, how many mobiles you can store it? Okay, how many TVs you can store in that box? That as simple as. So we discussed something called, okay, we discussed something called space units, primary quantity, secondary quantity, directory block, record length, block size. So we have a organization type. So there is a organization type. So we give blank if you are creating a PS file. Okay, if we are creating a PDS, you give PDS. Okay, give PDS if you are creating a partition data set. Is it clear?
If we want to create physical sequential file, then organization type we can give as a PS. If it is PDS, then we can give as a PS, right?
Blank, empty, keep it empty. So where just
Oh,
you scroll, if you press F8 to see the bottom data. So you should keep here type blank. Okay, see blank is there, right? Blank means just empty. Keep it empty so that it will create a it will create a PS file. F8 to see the top data, F7 to see the bottom data. Okay, let's say if I use page down, can you notice page down? So I am using scroll up, scroll down, correct? Scroll up, scroll down, page up, page down. So let's go back to the notepad. Page down, page down is equivalent to F8, F7, F8, yeah. Page up is equivalent to F7. Okay, so that is nothing but scroll up. So this is equivalent to scroll down. Is it clear? So that is all about it. Next, the last one, volume serial. What is that? Volume serial. It's a very important. In our hard disk, in our laptop, we have something called the C drive, D drive, F drive. Okay, we have a C drive, F drive, all of them, right? Similarly, in our direct access storage device, okay, in our storage device, I'll go to Paint. So let's take an example. This is our dash D. Just an assumption, okay? This is the dash D, direct access storage device. Assume that this is the direct access storage. So now what we do, this entire space is going to divide into multiple volumes. So it is going to divide into volumes. So that who will be doing admin? Who will be doing admin? So okay, so now admin, what they do, if it is a 100 GB space, they will say that 10 GB for volume 1. Okay, 10 GB for volume 1. Then okay, 20 GB for volume 2. So 1 GB for another. So volume, okay. So they will allocate. So now admin will allocate this bus V1, you Venkat A can use, Venkat B can use. So they will give access to use this volume, specific volume. What I meant, you can, admin will give to use specific volumes. Okay, whatever admins gives, we have to use it. On the server, we are supposed to use USR001 only. If you use something else, any moment they can create without giving a warning to us. Okay, just you have to use always the volume USR001. If you try to use something else, then at any point of time, they might delete your data sets. Is it clear? Okay, so like this volume serial. So you can see here. So we discussed all the parameters. Any queries?
No.
So we discussed three functionalities. F3 to go back to the previous screen. F7, F8 page up. Okay, if you can see more plus means something is there in the bottom. If I press F8, so minus means nothing is there in the bottom, but something else is there on the top. F7. Okay, F7. So you can type F8 and F7. Okay, how we can do logout? Equal X. Let me enter, hit the enter. You can see message that I know that I did not create as per this requirement. I'll do it tomorrow. You can see a message data set allocated. So what does mean the file got created? So we will see tomorrow how we can create a file and all. Okay, so that's all from my end for today. So I will share this video with everyone. You guys can watch all existing videos which I shared with you before and come to the tomorrow session, same time, same meeting details.